There's a specific kind of luxury in having a silent office.
Oh, definitely.
You want all that incredible computing power, the high-end graphics, the, massive data crunching.
But you don't want the noise.
Exactly. Or the heat, or just that huge tower taking up space.
It's the ultimate workspace contradiction, really. You need the horsepower, but you want the minimalism.
Right, which brings us to the mission for this deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
We are stripping down the specs for the NTI ST-IPUSB4K-R-VW.
That is a mouthful.
Yeah, quite a name for a device that promises to solve that exact problem.
Let's just call it the NTI 4K KVM extender. KVM being keyboard, video, mouse for anyone needing a quick refresher.
And it lets you put the computer in the server room,
Yeah.
keep your screen and your controls right there on your desk.
But this is a bit more than just a really, really long cable.
It is. We're looking at the data sheets, and this is an IP-based solution. It uses standard network cables.
That IP-based part is the key, because you're not just extending a signal, you are digitizing it.
Okay, so let's talk range. The specs highlight two main ways to set this up.
Right.
So you got the direct point-to-point connection. So that's just a single CAT5E or CT6 cable from the transmitter to the receiver.
And that gets you, what, about 400 feet?
400 feet, yeah.
Which is already pretty impressive for 4K resolution, pushing 3840 by 2160 that far usually.
Well,
You get signal loss.
but this holds it steady. But then there's the other setup, which is where it gets really interesting.
When you add a gigabit network switch.
Exactly. The documentation says you can go 500 feet to the switch.
And another 500 feet from the switch to the receiver.
That's a 1,000-foot leash for your computer.
It is. The switch just acts as a repeater, and the receivers are plug and play, so they just auto-detect the transmitter on the network.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's worth noting for, our listeners in government or secure facilities, this hardware is TAA compliant.
That's a huge detail. The Trade Agreements Act, so it's eligible for federal procurement contracts.
Essential for that sector. Now, looking at the layout options, this isn't just about mirroring a single screen.
No, this was the feature that really jumped out at me, the video wall support.
Right.
You can configure this system to drive a whole grid of screens, anywhere from a simple 1x2 setup,
All the way up to a massive 8x8 wall.
an 8x8. That's 64 screens.
64 screens, yeah.
And it's not just a grid. The specs mention built-in rotation 90, 180, 270 degrees.
So if you're designing digital signage or maybe a control room with vertical displays, the hardware handles that for you.
Creates a lot of creative flexibility.
Yeah.
But we have to look at the control side too, the K&M.
Of course. You have 4 USB Type-A ports on that remote unit.
Yeah.
It's USB 2.0, so touchscreens, flash drives, keyboards, they all just work.
But there's a specific constraint there, isn't there? If you're doing a point-to-many setup where multiple people are viewing the same source.
Yeah, that's a key point. USB control isn't a free-for-all. Only one receiver can control the mouse and keyboard at a time.
Which makes sense.
It does. It stops 2 people from, fighting over the cursor. That would just be chaos.
Speaking of chaos, let's talk about the gotchas. The networking requirements here are pretty strict.
Oh, absolutely not. You can't just buy a cheap switch off the shelf and expect this to work with multiple transmitters.
The manual is very explicit about that.
Very. You need a managed gigabit switch. It has to support VLAN and IGMP.
Because the video data is just so heavy.
Incredibly heavy.
Yeah.
If you have multiple computers sending 4K video, a cheap switch will just choke.
So VLANs, the virtual local area networks, they basically create separate lanes for that traffic.
That's a perfect way to put it. So the video streams don't crash into each other. Each VLAN acts as its own separate HDMI channel.
There was one other limitation I found in the fine print. It was about the audio.
Oh!
Yeah, the units have microphone jacks, but that mic channel only works if you're connected point to point.
That is a critical catch. So if you use a network switch to get that 1,000-foot distance...
You lose the microphone support. It just drops off.
So if you need this for Zoom calls or dispatch radio, you're stuck with that 400-foot direct connection.
Or you need a completely separate audio solution. It's a trade-off. And for context, we're looking at a price of around $555 for the remote unit. This is pro-grade gear.
For sure. It's an investment in infrastructure. You're paying for the reliability, for having your hardware secure and cool in a server room.
And keeping your workspace quiet. It really redefines what a desk can be.
It does. From control rooms to digital signage, anywhere, reliability and distance matter.
So here's a thought to take with you. If you could move your noisy, hot computer tower 1,000 feet away from you right now without losing a millisecond of control, how would you redesign your workspace?